What's going on, everybody? Today I'll be giving my 10 way too early 2024 Heisman Trophy contenders. Next season is going to be very interesting because it's basically the start of a new era of college football, and there's going to be a bunch of new look conferences, but also some interesting games to look forward to. But I'm excited to see a lot of the talented players returning, and I'm excited to see how the Heisman race plays out. And today I wanted to talk about some early contenders for the Heisman Trophy. But before I get into this video, be sure to like the video, but also subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. And if you guys love college football, then you will love this channel because we upload daily college football content and we basically cover everything on this channel, so definitely consider subscribing. But without further ado, let's get into the video. And just a quick note, I just wanted to say that Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter for Colorado will not be on this list because I don't think Colorado will be good enough to get one of them the Heisman Trophy, and I think it's unrealistic and dumb to put them on this list. So I'm just being real with you guys. I do not have Shedeur Sanders or Travis Hunter on this list. But I think there's a bunch of other talented guys who have potential to make an impact. Now let's start off at number 10, and I have returning quarterback Cam Rising for Utah on my list. It seems like a lot of people have forgot about this guy, but 2 years ago he was one of the best quarterbacks in college football. But he's been out with an injury for a while, and he missed all of last season. Cam Rising will be a 7th-year senior next season, and he will be back for his final college football season. There's a concern on if he can stay healthy and how rusty he will be, but I think it's realistic to have him on this list because Utah has a realistic shot to win the Big 12 next season, and Cam Rising could possibly put up numbers that would give him a strong case for the Heisman Trophy. But I only put him at number 10 because I can't really put him any higher, but he did help lead this Utah team to a Pac-12 championship just 2 seasons ago, and Cam Rising is a guy to watch out for. But at number 9, I have another Cam, but his last name is not Rising, his last name is Ward. Yes, I'm talking about Cam Ward, former Washington State quarterback. Another guy that might be overlooked, but he is one of the most talented quarterbacks in the country. And he almost went to the NFL draft, but he probably got paid the bank by Miami, and he then decided to transfer to Miami. Cam Ward would be a dark horse to win the Heisman Trophy because Miami hasn't been great the last couple years. And to win the Heisman Trophy, you have to put up good numbers, but you also have to be in a good team with a good record. But I think this Miami team has potential to be a lot better. They have one of the best recruiting classes in the country for the second straight year in a row, and now they have brought in Cam Ward, and this Miami team could be good. Cam Ward is a good dual threat quarterback, and if he has the right team around him, then I could see him being a legitimate top contender for the Heisman Trophy. But at number 8, I have Jackson Dart, who is the quarterback for Ole Miss. This past season, he put up spectacular numbers with 23 touchdowns, so only 5 interceptions, and he helped lead this team to a Peach Bowl victory against Penn State, in which he passed the ball for nearly 400 yards against one of the best defenses in the country. Jackson Dart is a dangerous quarterback, and he could definitely be a top contender for the Heisman Trophy, and he's going to have a good offense with good receivers to throw the ball to. Ole Miss will probably start the season ranked pretty high next year, and I expect Ole Miss to have a really good season, and this could set up for Jackson Dart to put up spectacular numbers and possibly win the Heisman Trophy. We saw his numbers improve last season, but this next season could be a breakout season for Jackson Dart and Ole Miss. But at number 7, I have Will Howard, who was Ohio State's quarterback. And I know a lot of people won't agree with this, and a lot of people just see him as another Kyle McCord, but I think Will Howard was a pretty big upgrade, and he could shock some people with his skills and possibly be a top contender for the Heisman Trophy. His numbers were not great at Kansas State, and he wasn't anything special, but Ryan Day has done a spectacular job at developing quarterbacks until Kyle McCord came along. And Kyle McCord obviously wasn't a great option, and he kind of failed. But I think Will Howard will be fine with the team he has to work with at Ohio State. We could see Ohio State's offense get a lot better, and sometimes an elite receiving corps can really help a quarterback get better if they are willing to learn. Kyle McCord failed, but I doubt we will see the same from Will Howard, and he might be an underrated pickup at the quarterback position. And like I said, Ohio State has been really good at the quarterback position the last decade. We've seen guys like CJ Stroud and Justin Fields really come along and have incredible success at Ohio State, and I think Will Howard was solid at Kansas State, and he can definitely take that next step at Ohio State. But at number 6, I have Jaylen Moo, who will most likely start for Alabama next season, unless plans change and we see Austin Mack start. But personally, I think Jaylen Moo gets way too much hate, and he's still got a few more years to learn at Alabama, and this past season, that Alabama offensive line really made it difficult for him. Yes, he is an athlete, but I also think he's solid at quarterback, and he can make incredible plays sometimes. He really just needs to work on his accuracy. But running quarterbacks are a thing nowadays, and they can be dangerous, definitely at the college level. And Jaylen Moo can run the ball well, but he can also throw the ball deep. He only threw 6 interceptions with a completion percentage of 65.8 last season, and the 13th best QBR rating in the country. He's not that bad. He may not be great or elite, but he's still got a lot of room to grow, And if Alabama doesn't completely fall off and they have a good season, we could see Jaylen Moo put up numbers, and he could be a top contender for the Heisman Trophy because he could always improve. And he's a hard worker, and he has showed some good things as a quarterback. And if he doesn't start at Alabama, then he could possibly transfer to another school to show his skills. At number 5, I have Noah Fifita, who is the quarterback for Arizona. And I know Arizona has lost some of their team, but it was confirmed that Noah Fifita and number 1 receiver McMillan are returning, and Arizona should still have a really good offense next season, and they should still be a top contender for the Big 12 championship. And Noah Fifita is an incredible player, and he put up really good stats for only being a freshman, and he also missed the first couple games of the season, but he still threw for nearly 3,000 yards with an insane completion percentage of 72.4, and he did that as a freshman. And he truly is one of the more underrated quarterbacks in the country, and I don't think he gets enough attention because it's insane. He's only a freshman, and he's already this good. He's going to have the receiving core around him, and having a good receiving core can help a quarterback put up numbers. And I think Noah Fifita can definitely win a Heisman Trophy within the next 3 years, and it might be as soon as next season because Noah Fifita is just that good. He really cemented himself as a really good quarterback in that win against Oklahoma in the Alamo Bowl when he threw for 350 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he helped lead Arizona to their first 10-win season since 2014. And let's not forget, this Arizona team went 1-11 just a couple years ago, but Noah Fifita is making a name out of himself at Arizona, and he's coming back next season as well. So I can't wait to watch Noah Fifita play. But at number 4, I have Ollie Gordon. Similar to Noah Fifita, he plays for a team in the new look Big 12, and he will be on a team that will be a top contender to win that conference. But Ollie Gordon is one of the best running backs in the country, probably the best running back in the country. He put up a crazy stat line where he had multiple games where he ran for over 250 yards, which hadn't been done since Barry Sanders. And it was some crazy stat line, and he's definitely a special running back, and he's really made a name out of himself. And he's definitely a legit Heisman contender. He has the decent team around him. The interesting thing about Ollie Gordon is that he didn't do hardly anything in the first couple games this season. Then out of nowhere, he just started going crazy, and he was in the Heisman conversation for a while. And I would not be surprised if Ollie Gordon actually won the Heisman Trophy next season. And by the way, he's only a sophomore. And it's crazy how fast these players can come along. He wasn't relevant at the start of the season, but now everybody knows who Ollie Gordon is, and that's for sure. But at number 3, I have Carson Beck. Carson Beck will be returning for Georgia next season, and he is a very efficient quarterback, and he always makes the right plays. This Georgia team is going to be very good next season, and they have Carson Beck leading the way. Carson Beck threw for nearly 4,000 yards with a completion percentage of 72.2 last season, and he had the elite receiving core to back him up. He won't have Brock Bowers or Ladd McConkey to throw to, but this team is loaded with talent. Carson Beck will be one of the best quarterbacks in the country next year, and he will definitely be a top contender for the Heisman Trophy, and I have no doubt about it. But at number 2, I have Texas quarterback Quinn Ewers. Texas is going to have a really loaded receiving room next year. They brought in 5-star receiver Isaiah Bond from Alabama. They also brought in Amari Niblack, who is a 4-star tight end from Alabama. And they also brought in Silas Bolden and Matthew Golden. And the receiving talent that Quinn Ewers will have to throw to is going to be really good. And that is going to be one of the most explosive offenses in the country. And Quinn Ewers is returning and passing up the NFL draft. And you could honestly put Quinn Ewers at number 1 because he's just that good. He was already one of the best quarterbacks this past season, and he will only get better with the more time he has to play, and he will be back for one more season. But at number 1, I decided to go with Oregon quarterback Dillon Gabriel. I really think the obvious top 2 options for the Heisman Trophy are Quinn Ewers and Dillon Gabriel, and I could see any one of them winning it. There's a lot of people who could contend for the Heisman Trophy, but I think Quinn Ewers and Dillon Gabriel have the best offenses to back them up. But they are also both very experienced quarterbacks. But I ended up going with Dillon Gabriel at number 1 because he's already showed his abilities to play at a high level at Oklahoma, and he was already on the same level as Quinn Ewers, and he was the Heisman frontrunner halfway through the season until Oklahoma lost a couple games. But now he is transferring to a team who is going to have one of the best receiving rooms in the country, and that team is the Oregon Ducks. The Oregon Ducks lost Troy Franklin, but other than that, they kept basically everybody else at their wide receiver position, and they also returned 2 very solid tight ends. But on top of all of that, they picked up 5-star receiver out of the transfer portal, Evan Stewart. And Dillon Gabriel should be amazing under that offensive system at Oregon, and he should get even better. And Dillon Gabriel could be just as good as Bo Nix, and possibly even better. And he is my prediction to win the 2024 Heisman Trophy. But you guys let me know down in the comments below who you think will win the Heisman Trophy next season. But anyways, that's going to do it for the video. Be sure to leave a like and also subscribe to the channel. And turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. And if you guys love college football, then you will love this channel, because we upload daily college football content. We basically cover everything on this channel. So definitely consider subscribing. But that's going to do it, guys, and peace out.